Hello everyone, I'm Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IAS English channel. Now, when we were reading about India's coastline, the common understanding is that India's coastline, it is about 7,500 kilometers, right? Now, you'll be surprised to know that India has added more than 3,500 kilometers to this coastline. So, how has that happened? Has India captured a new territory? Has it captured new islands? Let us find out, right? Now, the notes for these sessions, if you want to download them, they will be available on the Telegram channel ATS Live. So you can go on the top right hand corner of your Telegram app, enter the words ATS Live, you'll find the channel. You also have an option to scan the QR code. Go to this channel, subscribe to it if you still haven't, and download the notes. We were talking about India's coastline, right? Now, in 1970s, it was ascertained that India's coastline exactly was 7,516 kilometers, roughly 7,500 kilometers, right? But now India's coastline has increased by more than 3,500 kilometers, that is 3,582 kilometers. So right now, India's coastline stands at 1,198 kilometers, which is a 48% increase from the last time. So how has that happened? Additionally, even the number of islands in India has increased slightly. So what is the reason to it? Has India captured new islands or has India captured new territories? The answer is no. So the reason behind it is that we are able to tell a more accurate picture of our coastline because of our ability to picture our coastlines in a much accurate manner, right? Similarly, even the rise in number of islands has been done due to the reassessment and recount of an offshore islands, again enabled by a more accurate remote sensing capabilities. Now, this increase in length of our coastlines has many administrative and strategic implications, but on ground, this will not change anything. Why will it not change anything? How has better technology enabled us to capture a better idea of our coastline? Let me give you a very simple idea, right? Now, imagine you open a Google map, right? And if you take or enter India, this is the image that will be shown to you. So if you look at this image, you'll be safely say that India's coastline is continuous from the state of Gujarat. It extends to Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and then to eastern coastal states like Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Eventually, it ends up from Odisha to West Bengal. In addition to that, there are islands also in India, Andaman and Nicobar, and in here there are the islands of Lakshadweep, right? So this basically is an idea of India's coastline that you get from a zoomed out picture of India, which has been taken from a satellite, right? But now your image of coastline will change quite significantly once I zoom in into the map. For instance, let us consider the map of Mumbai, which is India's financial capital, right? So suppose I zoom in here, you'll realize that the coast of Mumbai is not exactly continuous. So if you start from here, coastline around Mumbai is very discontinuous. It enters inside, which separates the area of Navi Mumbai from Mumbai, and eventually the coastline runs here. So this gives you a picture, once you have zoomed out into a picture with better resolution, that India's coastline is not accurate, and this is exactly the same with India's entire coastline. Further, if you zoom in further, you'll realize there are many important islands near Mumbai. That is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is also located in a cave, which is located on Elephant Islands. And to reach Elephant Island, you have to take a ferry from Gateway of India. If you zoom in further, you'll see there are smaller islands here also, right? So how you are able to ascertain these smaller islands? Not from the zoomed out picture, but from the zoomed in picture. And how zoomed in picture is it possible? It is possible because our satellites are having now better resolution cameras. Let me give you another simple example. 10 years before, when our mobile phones came with 2 megapixel camera, then the camera ability increased from 2 to 12 megapixel, 36 megapixel, 48 megapixel, and now these days mobile phones come with 100 of megapixels worth of cameras, right? So in our ability, in our mobile terms, the ability to capture pictures have enhanced because of better technology. Same can be applied to our satellites as well. So satellites that were sent into space in 80s and 90s, they had somewhat inferior cameras to the satellites that are being sent now. Therefore, our ability to measure our coastline has increased by adoption of a higher resolution cameras. Earlier, the cameras on a satellite were having lower resolution scale, that was 1 is to 45 lakhs. Now they have had higher resolution cameras providing resolution about 1 is to 2.5 lakhs, and it helps us capture finer details about our land pictures. So in all, high resolution cameras can capture coastline, it bends, it curves in a more intricate manner as compared to lower resolution cameras, because lower resolution cameras will appear or make our coastlines appear to be smoothened out, therefore will not get an exact idea about the inconsistencies that may be there in our coastal picture, which you saw right now from the map of Mumbai, right? So this is the first reason that has allowed us to capture the data of our coastline in a much more accurate and using high resolution cameras. So this is basically the difference between the two. From a zoomed out picture, you'll see that our coastlines are continuous, but when you zoom in, for example, in the coast of Mumbai, you'll see that this coastline is not exactly smooth, rather it is discontinuous, moving inside and outside, and it also includes many newer islands which you are able to capture once you have a better resolution camera, right? So these are the factors that has played an important role. Similarly, we are also using GIS technologies right now. Earlier, when we used to estimate the amount of our coastline, we used to be dependent on conventional and manual calculations, but now our satellites are coming with modern GIS software, which is not just able to capture better resolution camera, but it is able to ascertain more accurately our length of our coastline. Also, it includes now many offshore islands that were not pictured previously. For example, many government agencies like the GSI, like Coast Guard, they had made their different calculations, but now we have a better idea that these of the islands, they were left out in the lower resolution pictures, now they have been added, therefore it adds to the total coastline length. So these are the factors in total that have contributed to addition of more than 3,500 kilometers worth of coastline, and now our coastline is more than 11,100, right? Similarly, there is also a factor called as coastline paradox. You understand, be it the coastline of seas or coastline of rivers, they change quite frequently. And this is because of many geographical reasons. For example, the coastlines, they are subjected to frequent erosion. Similarly, coastlines can be taken care of, or there might be developmental activities near coastline which will lead to erosion and deposition of sand, thereby changing the length of coastline. And this is also applicable with respect to river coast, right? So this is the problem known as coastline paradox. That is because of frequent changing in nature, will not be able to get the most accurate picture of our coastline, will not be able to exactly determine how the length of our coastline is. What we can get is a more accurate information through the use of better cameras. So because of this coastline paradox, government has now mandated that this revision of coastline exercise will happen every 10 years, that is once in a decade. Similarly, this has also helped us get a clear picture of how many islands are there in India. Earlier, different government agencies like Survey of India, defense organizations like Indian Navy and Coast Guard, they had painted their own assumptions. And Coast Guard and Navy, they had said that India's island stands at 1334, whereas Survey of India said that India's islands are 1382. So you can understand there were misconsistency or discontinuous assessments based by different organizations. But now we have a much more clearer picture that this exercise told us that India has 1389 islands, and I'm talking about offshore islands, not the riverine islands that are located inside the territories of India, particularly in the states of Assam and West Bengal. So total offshore island in India now stands at 1389, and this will help remove the consistencies or disconsistencies that existed earlier, right? Now, what will be the implication of such revision? I told you it has several economic as well as political, administrative, and the environmental implications. So let us understand them. First is the administrative implication. Now, updated data about our coastline, it offers a more accurate understanding of our nation's geography. Therefore, it may require reassessment based on district and state level coastal planning. Why do you need state level and district level coastal planning? Because you understand there are many developmental projects that are established near the coastline. They include tourist or recreational activities, the infrastructure which you put up, like resorts which are located very near to the beaches, right? So these will be set up. Similarly, you also need to undertake development of ports. All of this will require an exact data where our coastline is and how much coastline is. So these kind of developmental activities can be taken after you get a accurate picture. Also, it provides a very good impetus for improved security and strategic planning. Now you understand the 26/11 terrorist attack, it happened how? The terrorists, they originated from ports of Karachi and they entered Mumbai via sea route. So you need to have an accurate picture about our coastline so that Navy or even the Coast Guard can protect our shores in a much better manner. So this is how it will help in our security and strategic planning. We can also decide to protect our important installations that are located quite close to sea shores, like refineries, like naval bases, etc., which we can do so by an improved data. Also, in terms of environment, this has a much more improved regulatory impact, right? There is a thing called coastal regulation zone that actually permits or bans any kind of economic activity very close to shore, right? So in order to do that, you need to have an exact idea what are the levels of erosion or deposition near the coastline, right? So therefore, this will help in resetting the coastal zone regulation. And similarly, government can also take up environmental and climate actions accordingly, because you understand, due to climate warming, due to global warming, the levels of sea, it is going to increase in near future. So you need to have an exact data where the waters might enter into our mainland and make reservations or make developments accordingly. So it will help us even improve our climate and environmental actions, right? So these are the broader implications of increase in coastline. Now I also have a practice question for you, but before that I wanted to let you know something. Now, what are the process of coastal erosion, how coastal depositions might lead to changes in our land formation, right? All of this we understand in great detail in our geography classes, particularly the geomorphology section, right? And these classes happen in resolution batches, which covers everything from prelims to interview. To take admissions to one of these batches, right now we are offering admissions to morning batch of 2026, and these are offered at a discounted rate of 24,999, and you'll get these rates only up till 30th of June. And this was extended based on popular demand, as students called us, asked for more time so that they could take admission on this rate itself. So we have heard you, but you have to understand that this will not continue indefinitely. Admissions as well as the special offer, this will end on 30th of June. Now you have two options in front of you, and it depends upon when you want to give exams. Suppose if you want to give exams next year in 2026, the morning batch of resolution 2026 is for you. But suppose if you're planning for later on, say in 27 or in 28, the long-term evening batch option is for you. The differences between the course is only related to the duration of the course. Rest, all features remain the same. How to take admissions? What is the process of adding the code? Let me give you a very basic idea how to take admissions. You need to go to our website. This is called as StudyIQ.com. You need to log in first by simply entering your mobile number. Then an OTP would come on your mobile phone. You can enter the OTP and do the login process. After you're done with login, you need to select all language and select English option. Why am I telling you select English option? Because many people who might be watching this video, you might not be comfortable with Hindi or with bilingual batches, especially the students who come from southern states or from northeastern states, right? So for you, we are offering teaching exclusively in English batches, and I told you there are two options in front of you based on when you want to appear in the exam. Suppose if you're planning to give exams next year, so this is the right time where you get approximately 11 months to prepare diligently with us. Click on the 2026 tile. Once you click on the 2026 tile, it shows that 31,999 is the course fees. But there's also a code flashing on the bottom half of your screen that says use the code ATS Live, and it will help you get maximum discounts on not just these but all courses offered on our StudyIQ IAS website, right? How to apply the code? Let me tell you. Click on buy now. Once you click on buy now, on your right there is an option to add promo code. Click here, and on the left you need to write ATS Live. And as soon as you're done writing ATS Live, click apply. Once you click apply, you'll see 7,000 rupees discount is applied and the course fees now is 24,999. Similarly, the long-term batch, you'll also have to apply the code ATS Live. It will help you save 7,000, and that batch is available at 30,000, 29,999 to be very specific. Now, these batches come with many benefits. You obviously will get live classes, lecture notes, one-to-one mentorship, but in addition to that, you are also getting a scholarship. Suppose if you clear prelims examination, your entire course fees, yes, your entire course fees will be refunded. And not just that, if you top your monthly test, you'll be getting 11,000 rupees financial reward. So suppose if you're in the top 10% performing students of your batches, few months before prelims, you'll be brought to Delhi, and every of your expenses, food related, studies related, lodging related, will be taken care of by StudyIQ under prelims residential program. You'll be put in an environment that promotes competition, that promotes you to excel and eventually clear prelims. And you know what happens after prelims, you'll get the refund. Similarly, if you clear prelims, you'll also be eligible for mains residential program with no cost, right? So these are the benefits that are available on our resolution batches, and you can, if you still have any doubts, you can please contact us on 9240231070. They will help you out. And do not forget to let them know to apply the code ATS Live, because it helps you save how much rupees? 7,000 rupees, right? So this was it. You can take any of the batches, whichever is best for you. Now the practice question before we end our today's session: with reference to recent reassessment of India's coastline and islands, consider the following statements. Do let me know the correct answer in the comment section. If you answer it correctly, you know, I will like your answer so that you know you've done it right. And the notes, obviously they will be available on the Telegram channel few minutes after this video ends. The Telegram channel is called as ATS Live. So please go subscribe to the channel and download the notes. So this is all from my side. Please have a very good day.